Sabi nga natin, ang regression equation is one way of expressing the nature of the relationship between two variables, di ba? Regression lines are not the cause and effect relationships, di ba? They are merely describe the relationships among variables, di ba? The regression equation shows how one variable relates to the value and changes in another variable. Parang yung example natin doon sa regression analysis, 'di ba? So yung yung sa sales and sa advertising, 'di ba? Yung relationship ng dalawa, 'di ba? So in correlation coefficient naman, it is the statistics that measure the direction and strength of the linear relationship between the two variables. So ito yung magiging formula natin for the correlation coefficient. Although the equation seems complicated, it is easy to compute and the value of R can be easily interpreted. Values of R range between -1 and +1 and have the following meanings. Ibig sabihin ng R, kapag +1 ang result, there is a perfect positive linear relationship between the two variables. For every unit, for every 1 unit increase in the independent variable, there is a 1 unit increase in the dependent variable. So sa R -1 naman, if R is equals to -1, there is a perfect negative linear. Tandaan na, -1, negative linear relationship between the two variables. Just because the relationship is negative does not mean that there is no relationship. Okay po. It is still a linear relationship except that it is negative. Ibig sabihin, the two variables move in opposite direction. A unit increase in the independent variable is accompanied by a unit decrease in the dependent variable. Diba? It's either kapag nag-decrease naman yung independent, diba? Independent variable, mag-i-increase naman yung dependent variable. So, ganun yung negative linear relationship. So, dun sa example natin kanina, sa example natin sa linear regression, yun yung gagamitin natin para ma-identify natin kung perfect positive linear relationship ba yung two variables or perfect negative linear relationship. Kapag R is equals to 0, there is no linear relationship between the variables. Okay po. So using, for our example, so tandaan natin yung formula na. Using the information from the previous example, complete the correlation coefficient and evaluate the strength of the linear relationship between sales and the advertising dollars. So titingnan natin, evaluate natin yung sales and advertising dollars kung perfect positive ba sila or perfect negative or no linear relationship yung dalawang variables na yon. Okay po. So, identify muna natin yung mga given. So, ano ba yung mga given natin? We have number of periods na 4. Diba? Ano pa ba? We have the x and y, summation ng x and y na 28,202. Diba? So, we have summation ng x na 189, then summation ng y is equals to 589. Diba? We have x squared, summation ng x squared is equals to 9,253, diba? And then we have the mean x na, yung mean x natin. Kailangan pa ba yon sa formula? Hindi na, diba? Wala naman tayong mean x and mean y, diba? Hindi na to kasama. Ano pa ba? The y, summation ng y squared is equals to 87,165. So yung formula natin is R is equals to number of periods, which is 4, multiplied by summation ng xy, 28,202, diba? Minus summation ng x multiplied by the summation ng y. So 189 times 589. Okay po. Divided by square root of the number of periods, 4, multiplied by summation ng x squared, 9,253, diba? Minus x squared, diba? 189 squared. Okay po. Multiply by the square root ng number of period, the summation ng y squared, which is 87,165, minus summation ng y squared, 589 squared. So yung R natin is equals to 0.992 or almost 1.0. So ang ibig sabihin nito, yung sales and advertising dollar natin have a perfect linear relationship, diba? So the computed coefficient correlation is close to 1, which means there is a strong positive linear relationship between the two variables, yung sales and the advertising. So if we compute naman the R squared, diba? Or the standard deviation, R squared is equals to 0.984. Tama ba? Which means you have 98.4% of the variability in sales is explained by the advertising dollar. Okay po. Kung may questions, kindly type your questions in the comment section. Okay po.